This next part right here that we want to talk about, that I definitely wanted to bring to you, this is going to be a more of a crystal focused kind of conversation because she is our resident woman here today with us, and we, as the rest of us as black men, really want to know how exactly we can be better allies to our sisters. There's been a lot of things going on in the media. Every time you turn around, there seems to be more focus on the competition of black men and black women's relationships, where we're not coexisting, where we're not really helping one another. And we seem to, anytime that we get in a situation, even to a little bit like we were just doing a second ago, we were discussing what was going on with a black woman and some of the stuff that was happening. And in no way, shape, or form to dog or put this woman down. And I feel like we were able to discuss that topic like gentlemen. And I appreciate us for that. But in a lot of circles, men aren't doing that to women that look just like them, women that look just like their mothers. Yeah. How can we as black men honestly be better allies to our sisters?
I agree with what you said. Just when we were discussing the previous topic, excuse me, when we were discussing the previous topic, and just kind of just like not talking down to them and uplifting them. Like, I didn't hear any of you call this lady trash or none of that stuff. So that is a good thing on you guys' behalf. But just not that situation, but any situation in general, I feel like just uplift the black lady. Like, encourage her to be classy and have that, you know, I don't know the word I'm trying to say.
Take your time.
I'm trying to think of, I can't get the word out, but just pretty much encourage her to not be ghetto and just uplift the
So let me ask you this, female. Crystal. When you say encourage, I think some men have different interpretations of what encouragement is. Because sometimes a man may feel like he's encouraging, but he's actually being patronizing, or he's being condescending.
Yeah, that's good.
That is
so
very good.
What's the difference? What is a way? And I don't know if you want to share like your way, like how you would appreciate it, but I guess what is a way that men can be an ally or be encouraging to women, as you're saying?
In my opinion, just being there to support and like, to use the word encouraging, for me personally, if you are there to support me and be my backbone, like, let's say if I'm not married, but if I'm in a relationship or once I get my husband, I would want him to be my backbone and be there every step of the way, have my back.
Okay. When
I am, like, if my back is against the wall, I want you to step up and, you know, be there to support me. That's what I mean, like, encouraging and just, like, you know, just being there. And I would be the same way for my husband. If he's the same way, like, if, you know, he's supporting me and being there, then I would be that same way for him. Like, if his back was against the wall, then I would be, you know, step up to the plate.
I got you, Crystal.
You know, you look at these situations like I'm looking at now because the court case with Megan the Stallion and Tory Lanez is getting ready to start, and I think they're doing the preliminaries. You heard it actually came out that before he shot her, before he shot her, he told her to dance. Like, you remember in the old cowboy and Indian situation, dance, and they shoot at your feet. Except for she got shot in this situation, and before
like a bullet, did it ricochet off or something, or did she just get shot?
As far as I know,
I'm not saying that matters. I'm just wondering, like,
as far as I don't recall that detail, if it ricocheted and then hit her, or she was just flat out hit in the foot. All she knows is that she heard what she heard, and then she felt what she felt, then looked down and saw blood, and then she fell to the ground. Right. The situation that was crazy was that he started to profusely apologize and state how much he didn't want to get in trouble. And the thing is, she then had to consider this man who just shot me, regardless of the fact why he shot me. Do I want to see what will happen when the police come to apprehend this man?
Yeah.
David, in any case, have you ever seen it where a man was willing to take the bullet for a woman and let me back off. Let me not put her in a situation that may be detrimental to her future. Yeah. Have you ever seen a situation where a man has done that? Has a man has come forward like that?
No, I can't even call a situation like that. And really, women are more likely to do that, to take the L for their man.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And which speaks to, being an ally to black women. Here's my thing is that, number one, you can't really love or be an ally if you have a negative self-concept.
I agree.
And so, because
I definitely agree with that.
It all comes from the heart, because if I can't be for you and I'm not even for myself. And so that's one of the things I think men need to, first off, develop. You know? And then once you do that, and when you enter into these relationships, the other part of that is you have to care, because, again, if you have a mother, sister, or aunt that you've ever loved before, you're going to treat a woman in relationship no less.
Yes.
So, and here's the thing, and a lot of men, we have this misogynistic attitude in terms of us being, we even misunderstand our role, because even in the Bible, men and women are equal. We just have different roles.
Right. Yes.
And so that plays out negatively as well. We do certain things to women, if we don't understand the purpose of a woman and don't understand why, how God has made us as co-heirs, as joint heirs, then we're going to mistreat them. And unfortunately, I personally feel you just have too many. When I say ignorant, I mean in the sense of not knowing.
Yes.
Right. Who don't have a good self-concept. They don't understand the purpose of a woman. And a lot of their acculturation is through video, music, and social media. So the stuff that I see, I'm then going to, in other words, put that on somebody else, Heath.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of relationships play out. Instead of having a biblical foundation or else a good positive example that you've seen so that you can partner and be an ally to someone who is you. Yeah, that's the reality. She is me.
Yeah.
When I think about the scripture in Ephesians chapter 5, when it talks about husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church, and I have the word right here.
All right, I see.
And it says, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her.
There you go.
And gave himself up for her
it's
to make her holy,
sacrificial.
cleansing her by the washing with water through the word. In this scripture of Ephesians 5, when it talks about submit to one another, then it goes on to describe how you should submit.
Yeah.
Right.
It first says, wives, submit to husbands this way. Husbands, love your wives. This is the way that you submit to. Love your wives and give yourself up for her.
Yes.
And so that's the dual submission. A larger relationship issue is why men don't feel that they have to love their wives and give themselves up for her, which speaks to your topic that you're talking about, how when you're supporting black women and being an ally to black women, at what point do you see yourself as the one who's sacrificing for the benefit of her? Like Scripture tells you, because you will quickly say, wife, you have to submit. But then will you quickly say, I'm not going to give myself up. I'm going to sacrifice the things for your benefit.
Yes.
And that's what I think is missing. But I do want to throw out this question, because this scripture is talking about husbands and wives. But Tory Lanez and what's that dude's name? And Meg Stallion and Tory Lanez. Tory sounds like a girl's name to me. But is he responsible for giving himself up, for sacrificing for a girlfriend or somebody they're dating? Because this scripture applies to marriage. What do y'all think about that, Crystal?
Well, and I feel like you said, the scripture is relating to marriage. So a guy probably would have the mindset of, that's not my wife, so why, it's just my girlfriend. Like, I don't know if he might not want to marry this lady in the long run, or like you said, they just dating. So he probably had the mindset of, why do I have to sacrifice or give myself up for someone that might not even be my wife 5 years from now or something like that? So that's how I look at it. Like you said, the scripture talks about husband and wife, not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah, but when do you put those actions into play? One of the things that I know I got from Heath a long time ago when when he gave me his book to read. There's things that you need to start putting in practice in your life before they matter. Yeah. There's a lot of things as a boyfriend that you need to sacrifice for that person that you're with before you get married to them. Don't practice it now and expect that you're going to get it right. Don't do it once you become married. You should be sacrificing your maleness to her all the time in order to keep her pure. Yeah. You should be sacrificing. You should be able to sacrifice your wants for someone else's wants and compromise. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that you have to learn and start to put into play. And honestly, if you did it, we wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't pull out a gun for no random reason and start shooting at the feet. Why was that even part of what was on the docket for the day?
Yeah.
Like, why was that even, what were you thinking, sir?
Oh, I totally agree. And to answer, too, and I'm just going to piggyback of what you said, Thomas, and answer your question, Heath. What we're talking about prior to marriage, we're talking about civics, right? Basic civics. And after marriage, we're talking covenant.
Yes.
So if I can be a good citizen,
That's good, David. Yeah. Civics and then covenant. Come on now.
Just to teach.
Only found here on I Said All That to Say.
And he said all that to say.
Yeah, I said all that to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just practice and we keep that continuum going from civics to covenant. Right. And that way we know how to treat people decently.
Yes. So I look at it this way, and that's a very good point, David. I never even thought about it like that. But I look at it this way, to add color to some of what Thomas has shared about what I told him. I look at it as a rolling disclosure. How much you are willing to give of yourself at whatever stage of relationship you're in.
That's good.
So when you are talking, there's a certain level of disclosure that I will give you.
Exactly.
And then once we start dating, then I will disclose more of myself to you. And then when we are engaged, then I'll disclose more of myself to you.
Yes.
But then when we're married, then I will disclose not all, but more of myself to you at that point, because then you still have to see how that person handles those sensitive areas of you while you're married. To see how much of that you want to disclose. People have a understanding. I'm not gonna say it's wrong. I wouldn't recommend it though. People have an understanding that when they're married, you just have to take all of me. I can show you everything. No, you should not, because certain parts of yourself are not appropriate for your marriage. There's certain, I think me and Thomas have the same thing in common. There's certain humor that he and I have that cracks both of us up. But when we apply it to our household, it falls on deaf ears.
It will never find
its
its way
offensive.
Yes.
So there's a level of disclosure that I cannot show my wife to protect her.
Yes.
To prevent her from feeling like, oh, you're rude, you're mean. How could you say that?
That's why our love is sacrificial, and we're sacrificing that part of ourselves that would damage this woman.
Absolutely.
And we have to, God couldn't give all of him to us at one time. And that's why it's the way that Christ loves the church, is the way that we're supposed to love this woman, which in all senses, how we should love all of the women that are in our lives.
Yes.
Because we're making this, we're trying to figure out how we truly can be better. I rarely ever hear this argument from white women towards white men, or men of any other ethnicity towards the women in their groups. Ours, I see the damage that it's doing. I see what's happening to our women, and our women need us to be the men that we are supposed to be. And I said all of this to say, fellas, we need to look at ourselves in the mirror. and we need to be real. And some of us really hate the women that look just like us.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we really need to get ourselves together. A lot of the ways that we've been raised have been wrong. A lot of the ways that we treat women, the way we approach them, the way we look at them has not worked. It hadn't worked before, and it's definitely not working now. In the new year, we need to be better to our black women. I said all of this to say that we're going to throw this topic to my brother David. Again, we're going to see what he's talking about with HBCUs and what's going on with them.
You know what? One of the biggest news stories this week has been Deion Sanders at Jackson State University.